Hello, my name is Jean-Marc Shaw. I was gonna do a audio recording, but it didn't function, so I guess I'm making a video now. So this is the video for my first section of my multimodal response journal, which is on storytelling. So in module number 1, I learned about storytelling and its many nuances. According to Brown Grant, there are 6 different definitions of storytelling that he goes through in his article. So number 1, he says that storytelling is a framework. Stories are like a frame that gives shape and meaning to our lives. They help us make sense of the world around us, offering a structure through which we can understand, explain, and navigate its many complexities. Number 2, Brown outlines storytelling as a powerful function. So stories are more than entertainment. They are a tool we use to shape the world around us, whether it's leading change in an organization, inspiring a group, accomplishing a task, or beginning a new chapter story. A new chapter, sorry. Stories help to guide us to our goals. At every stage of life, storytelling is a powerful tool that is used to connect us to one another and gives purpose to our shared experiences. Number 3, he outlines storytelling as a way of thinking. We understand the world through stories. They influence how we see things, how we make decisions, how we explain what matters. We use stories to reflect, to reason, to bring clarity to complex ideas, and to give meaning to our thoughts. Number 4, he says that storytelling is also a method. When used intentionally, storytelling becomes a strategy to teach, share knowledge, and inspire actions. In education, stories help students learn through different perspectives. In healthcare, they can support healing and improve mental care. In business, they can carry knowledge and culture from one person to another. Number 5, he says that storytelling is a lived practice. When used, storytelling in our work or daily lives, it becomes a practice, a blend of skill and knowledge that expands with time. It's something we do better connect with others, to better care for others, to better teach others, and be a better leader. Number 6, and finally, he says that storytelling is rooted in action. Every story begins with something happening, someone making a choice, taking a step, or facing a challenge. Without action, there is no story to tell. Stories are rooted in action. Actions that were taken to overcome challenging situation and obstacles. Stories are deeply connected to who we are as humans and our shared experiences. They speak to us on a personal level and encourage us to move forward. Right? So uh, all these 6 different types of storytelling are fundamental to the importance of storytelling, right? There are many different types of storytelling, each shaped by its purpose and context, obviously. uh, One of the most important elements of storytelling is the narrator, who holds the power to frame the story and guide the audience's interpretation. A skilled narrator can invoke strong emotions, creating a lasting impact on their listeners. Brown also highlights how memory influences storytelling over time, showing that stories are often reshaped as they are passed down. Brown's exploration of storytelling in its various forms is thought provoking. Personally, I believe that written information is generally more reliable for transferring knowledge because it tends to remain consistent over time. However, storytelling, despite its tendency to shift from person to person, excel at convening emotion. A talented uh, a talented storyteller can make even the simplest story engaging, adding personal insight and emotional depth that written text may lack. Storytelling also has the unique ability to bring people together, encouraging shared experience and group interaction. This is one reason why children enjoy bedtime stories so much. Beyond entertainment, storytelling plays a vital role in social development and human connection. Right? So, for this next part of my multi-module response journals in first section here is I basically got inspired by the story of White Rock, which was written by Bernard Charles in the Semiamu people, because my grandfather throughout my life has has told me the story of the White Rock, and I knew about the story, but he just kept it to the basics, and he didn't tell me the entirety of the story. And through this course, I decided to actually go and read the story, and especially because we had a presentation on the Semiamu people, so I thought, you know what, we're talking about storytelling in chapter one, might as well discover what the story of the Semiamu people are, right? So basically, because the Semiamu people wanted to revitalize their culture, and basically because they lost so many people during history because of, you know, most of their tribesmen either leaving, the Semiamu region being split in half due to colonization, uh, disease killing most of their people. They're only reduced to about 50 people in the reserve of White Rock now. So, so to preserve their cult oral tradition and their culture, the chief Bernard Charles in 1969 decided to actually write down the story, which was not the norm because usually all their stories are told through oral tradition. But when people die, well, you lose that oral tradition. You lose a part of your history, unfortunately. So that's another downside of oral history, right? Even though it might be great in other respects. So I think that writing it down also just helps you, like I said previously, get that information down and, have a solid base, right? It's not like people who die, pieces of paper and books can be given to generation from generation um, that way so that knowledge can, transcend time, or is it transcend time? Is that the right word I'm using? But you know what I mean. Like it can go through time. Anyways, so I thought it would be interesting to read the story in this video. So I already read this in front of the class, but I'm gonna read it again because I really like the story. I think it's a great story, and I like to read it the way it was written because I am not I am not from the Semiamu tribe, and I would just give a brief rundown of the story, but I feel like it doesn't give the story justice, especially with the time and care that I've seen that the story was written in with. So, anyways, so it starts off by saying, amazing in its size and isolation on the beach stands the great rock which gave the city its name. Pieced together from a fragment of history, the legend tells us that long before the arrival of discoverers Cook and Vancouver, the Gulf of Georgia was ruled by a sea god who was worshipped by the Cowichan natives. The sea god had a son, tall, handsome, and strong, who dwelt with his father in a subterranean cavern not far from the present town of Sydney, Vancouver Island. On the shores of the Gulf and on the original site of Sydney lived the tribe of Cowichans and their chief. The chief had a beautiful daughter whom many young braves wooed. She, however, refused them all. One day, when the lovely princess was bathing in the waters of the Gulf, the son of the sea god rose to the surface beside her. As mortal youth had done before, the son of the sea god fell in love with her at first sight. He seized her and carried her off to his father's mansion, in front of which was a tremendous totem pole of rock carved with the history of the ocean. The sea god was angry with his son for bringing a mortal even so fair to his kingdom. He refused to give him the blessing on their marriage and ordered them to return to the girl's tribe. The young god, determined to keep his princess, went with her to her father's home. She said he would be welcomed as a son and in time would rule. But when they rose from the water and presented themselves before the old chief of the Cowichans, he too refused to accept them. Like the sea god, he declared the mortals and gods should not be wed. The young man, by now more determined than ever, raised in his powerful arms a huge white rock which stood on the shore. He said to the princes, "I will hurl this stone over the water. Wherever it falls, there we will make our home and establish our tribes." So saying, he cast the stone far over the gulf. High over the island it went, and as it rose, the son of the sea god took his bride in his arms, dived into the sea, and swam off in the direction of the great boulder. So swift were his movements that as the huge rock fell on the mainland shore, some 60 miles away, the young god and his bride rose out of the water beside it. There, on the shores of the bay, shaped like the crescent moon, they made their home, and the mighty Semiamu tribe grew and became famous. After many years, the tribe dissolved, but a remnant of that once great and powerful people still lives near the White Rock. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.